like that melody a lot, actually. I think everything I've got for the, I know I'm like jumping around a lot here. This is a little bit chaotic. That's gonna be hard to figure out. A Harlington. Harling, oh my God. This might be a risk, but I kind of like the ambiguity of this. I think there's enough context clues in the rest of the song that the tenor of this will make sense. What's up, guys? My name is Connor. Today we're gonna do something kind of fun and different. This is my first attempt at doing anything like this on this channel, but I think it's a cool idea. We're gonna see how it goes. So, basically what we're doing today is my brother, who is not a songwriter, well, now he kind of is. Watch my last video, you'll see what I mean. But he sent me a set of unfinished lyrics that he was working on. I think the exact way he phrased it in the email was, here's a terrible thing that I wrote, feel free to ruin it further. So, that's what we're gonna be doing today. We're going to be ruining or fixing or just finishing my brother's unfinished song. We're gonna go through the lyrics, see what he's got so far, and then see what we can do to polish it up, punch it up a little bit, and then finish it off. And that's the whole deal. The only other thing I'll mention is that this is just lyrics. He didn't have a melody idea or a chord progression or anything, so we're gonna do all of the heavy lifting on the musical side of things. But we're gonna start from the lyrics and build our way up from there. So let's check it out. So what you see on the screen right now are the lyrics that he sent me. Our job is to just parse through this and try to make sense out of it. So I'm just gonna start by reading through this out loud just to establish what we've got so far, feel out like what the topic is, what the themes are. He told me nothing about this. He just sent me the file. So we have to figure out how to interpret this. And then also figure out like if he's divided it into sections. Does he have a verse? Does he have a chorus? So let's figure it out. The world is for the lowlifes, and darling, don't you wish I'm one? Wouldn't you like to make out on Broadway Station? Give our middle fingers to the sun. Well, right away, I think Broadway Station has to be capitalized. Is Broadway Station even a place? I'm gonna Google this real quick. Okay, it is a station on the Long Island Railroad. There's a few different Broadway stations around the country. Let's go with the New York one. I feel like that feels appropriate here, unless there's other context later in the song, which we'll find out about shortly. So for now, we're gonna assume this is Broadway Station in New York, Long Island Railroad. Girl, the world is for the losers, rat race running boozers, and all the others who know the meaning of fun. And darling, wouldn't it be nice if I were one? Okay, these right away feel like verses. I think we might have to do some cleaning up with the cadence and meter and rhyme scheme, but pretty solid right off the bat. Some good poetic imagery. There's a very clear emotional tint to the song, right? It's kind of melancholy, like, what's the quote? Eat, drink, be merry, for tomorrow we die. It's that kind of vibe. But I wear a suit and tie. I work my 9 to 5, get groceries on the way home from work. Honey, darling buttercup, you know where I am when you wake up, shaving and not even in the kitchen sink. Sure, the world is for the losers, but life's for shakers and the movers. Cheer up, why are you wishing for the dark? Okay, I think we found our chorus because he repeats this section a few different times. And then I guess this is a bridge right here. I put on my suit and you tie my tie so I can work my 9 to 5, but today there's no groceries by the door. Honey, darling buttercup, where am I? Are you on the up and up? Okay, lots to unpack here. If you saw my last video, you know my brother has a lot of literary talent. He's a very smart guy, great writer. So I think to make this work as a song, this is gonna take some cleaning up, but the core idea is already very strong here. He already has an intention, a direction. He's saying something very clear. So it seems like the core message of what he's got so far is, it's not really a love song. It's more like the narrator or the storyteller is talking to his lover or spouse or girlfriend or boyfriend or whoever, and kind of lamenting the fact that they want to be a nihilist and live kind of like a low life lifestyle, throw caution to the wind, not care about anything, just everything's meaningless, everybody sucks, but doesn't seem to be able to do that. They have a 9 to 5, they dress up nice, work hard, get groceries, do the things they need to do. And they're living a very like wholesome, like family, career-oriented lifestyle, even though they secretly don't want to. The one thing that I'm not sure that I understand right off the bat is cheer up, why are you wishing for the dark? It feels like the character telling the story themselves is wishing for the dark. Let's see here. Oh, I guess it kind of makes sense. Going back through the verses, we've got darling, don't you wish I'm one? Darling, wouldn't it be nice if I were one? So it sounds like the partner character is kind of like nihilistic, and the main character doesn't quite fully buy into that, but wants to for the sake of their partner, is how it feels. And of course, I'm taking over this song, so if that's what we want it to mean, then we can make it mean that. Okay, let's see. Wouldn't you like to make out on Broadway Station? Give our middle fingers to the sun. I love that give our middle fingers to the sun line. That's great. That's like screw existence, basically, is what it's saying. It's very visceral, very powerful, very dark. Girl, the world is for the losers, rat race running boozers, and all the others who know the meaning of fun. Now there are quotes around fun right here. That could be a challenge because it's hard to sing with quotations. So we may have to do some reconstructing on that line. But okay, I mean, again, the vibe is very clear here. Honey, darling, buttercup, you know where I am when you wake up, shaving and not even in the kitchen sink. So right away, this highlights the differences between me and my brother. I would never say something like honey, darling, buttercup. I think we could pull it off in a way that works. I'm tempted to just leave those in there to try the challenge, but that's sort of like pet name language. I don't really use it in my personal life. I don't really use it in my songwriting life. So it might be fun to try to make that not corny or cringeworthy. I see what Eric, my brother, is after here, and I think we might be able to pull that off. Shaving and not even in the kitchen sink. That's good. It's funny. Tongue in cheek. Sure, the world is for the losers, but life's for the shakers and the movers. Cheer up, why are you wishing for the dark? Okay, I get what he's after with those last two lines. I just think we can rephrase those in a way that's a little more elegant. Okay, cool. So we've sort of done the preliminary analysis on this. So I think what we do now is we just kind of iterate through the song start to finish. I'm going to construct the chord progression and the melody just as we go. Let's start with the verses. And you know what? I'm going to go to the piano and try to find a theme that I think will work for this. I've already kind of predetermined that I'm going to use piano for this song. So okay, I think we've got something that feels like it kind of fits the vibe of this. The world is for the lowlifes. Darling, don't you wish that I'm one? I like that for the first two lines. I think we just commit to that and roll with it. I think wish that I'm one. Tiny tweak, but I think it'll help the cadence here. I also think it helps the line make more sense. And I can't even really explain why. It just feels like it's a clearer message when I add that word. Ha, that word. I'm sure that I could sort of recalibrate this line to make it fit, but I feel like it's a little bit wordy. I think we can actually pull some syllables out of this. So let's see if we can do that. Maybe instead of wouldn't you like to, we'll just make it a little more colloquial. Same exact message, but don't you want to? Like that. Don't you want to make out on Broadway Station? Give our middle fingers to the sun. I think maybe pace that differently. I think starting later might help the vibe feel better and also break up the pacing of the verse a little better. So instead of give our middle fingers to the sun, we could do like give our middle fingers to the sun. Don't you wanna just? Don't you wanna just make out? I think just. I know we're trying to pull words out of that, but just makes it feel like it feels like it fits the like screw everything attitude of the lyrical content a little better if I do that. Girl, the world is for the losers. Okay, I think I have an idea here. This second half of the verse, we're gonna do like a little pre-chorus tag here. I do like girl, the world is for the losers, rat race running boozers. I don't think I'm gonna change those lines. A lot of what we've got here so far is usable. I don't think I really need to tweak it. All the others who know the meaning of fun. That line, however, I think we have to do something about. So let's see what we can do here. I do like the fun rhyme at the end because we've got this one, sun, fun here. And then we've got this internal losers, boozers rhyme. So the rhyme scheme's gonna be a little weird, but I think it'll be okay. I think it's gonna work. I think maybe something like everyone who wants to pretend they're not coming undone. Something like that might feel a little better. Because to say meaning of fun, I'd have to put such sarcasm and derision into the word fun. I just don't know if I could sing that and get that message across tactfully. Rat race running boozers and groceries on my way back home. I like that melody a lot, actually. Home from work, I don't think is gonna work here. Also, I like shaving and not even in the kitchen sink, but I feel like that needs to rhyme. Like work and sink, whatever words go there, I feel like that rhyme scheme needs to be established here. I think everything I've got for the, I know I'm like jumping around a lot here. This is a little bit chaotic. Again, it's my first time trying this, so bear with me if I'm just jumping around different parts of the song. I don't have an organized formula. We're just gonna kind of tackle these things as they come up. Yeah, but I think those first two verses and that little pre-chorus tag, I'm happy with where those are at. We might come back around and tweak those later, but for now I'm gonna leave that and focus on the chorus. Honey, darling, buttercup, know where I am when you wake up. I think that'll work. I wear a suit and tie, I work my 9 to 5. That's gonna be hard to figure out. I'm also gonna section this out a little bit more. Organization is key. Also, I need to talk to Eric about using periods at the end of your lines when you're writing song lyrics. I mean, it's not like a law. No one's gonna throw him in songwriting jail for it. It's just convention to not do that. So I'm gonna delete them. If he wants that to be his lyrical style, that's fine, but this feels better to me. Maybe instead of get groceries on the way home from work, I can replace that line with something that'll work better with the kitchen sink line. Think. Drink. Wait till the weekend to have a drink. I pay my taxes and I... Just gonna replace this. Hey, Uncle Sam. And I don't complain. Oh, that you know where I am when you wake up is just wordy and kind of awkward, but I don't know what else to say there. Honey, darling, buttercup, you know where I am when you wake up. Maybe if I do like a more syncopated cadence like that, I can just leave it and it'll work. And then what I was thinking here for complain, instead of shaving and not even in the kitchen sink drain. Complain and drain. I don't know how that's gonna work though. A Harlington. Harley. Oh my God. What about like pouring the dregs of my morning coffee down the drain or something like that? I like that shaving and not even in the kitchen sink line, but I don't know if we're gonna be able to make that work here. This might be a risk, but I kind of like the ambiguity of this. I think there's enough context clues in the rest of the song that the tenor of this will make sense. The shaving cream is running down the drain. No, the world is for the losers, but life's for the shakers and movers. The cadence of this is really throwing me here. The world is for the losers, but life's for shakers and the movers. Pace that out more? I don't really know what to do with this line. We might have to change some of this. Reality abusers, people who abuse reality. The shakers and the movers. I like cheer up, why are you wishing for the dark? I think we keep that. It's for those who play their part. Why are you wishing for the dark? I kind of like that. I think we just kind of roll with that. So I need to say the shaving cream running down the drain. Take the is action word out of it. Okay, so that's kind of cool. And that gets us through the first chorus. So now we have to go back to the verse, which I've already kind of forgotten the melody, and figure out how to construct a second verse. Let me clean up these extra choruses a little bit too, because it looks like he's just kind of changing that last line. So like, cheer up, please stop wishing for the dark. Here, and then I think that last one's just a direct copy. So I've sort of mapped out the cadence of the first verse, so now we can try to project that onto the second verse. I like starting with the world is for, because that's like a common thing. In fact, we might even be able to squeeze a title option out of that. That's not important right now. So in this situation, who else is the world for? It's for the lowlifes. I like how we're talking about two different types of losers, right? In the verses, it's like the world is for the losers. He's flipping the script here in a really interesting way. He's saying like the real losers and the lowlifes are the people who buy into the societal corporate games, right? And the real winners are the people who don't do anything productive and tear everything down. And look, I'm not picking sides. I think a healthy amount of play the game because society needs productive people is good, and the healthy amount of set everything on fire because so much of it is terrible is also good. I think either of those in excess is not a good thing. Not choosing sides here, but we want to kind of tell the story effectively. And the story is told from the point of view of somebody who's very conflicted between those two sides. Their inclination is to want to play the societal game, but they also have a partner who is very anti that and they want to appease that person. And so they're willing to sacrifice some of their own beliefs and values in order to better relate to their more nihilistic partner. I have an idea. The world is for the children. Aren't you glad we have none? Darling, aren't you glad we have none? All the little future politicians learning how to keep the mask on. So the cadence there is a little bit different because the first time we did give our middle fingers to the sun, right? Here it's learning how to keep the mask on. So it ends earlier like it did the first time around. So I'm thinking maybe I alter the melody a little bit there so we have something else interesting going on. Mask on. Maybe we just do that. And that way we kind of emulate that melody even though we're dragging mask out to be two separate notes. Let's see, what else can we do here? Get real existential here maybe. Girl, the universe is empty. Entropy and energy and poor lost souls who don't know. Darling, how would you feel if that's who I become? I feel like that's good. I feel like this kind of works. It gets a little big picture and existential in the second half of that second verse. We're going from very like gritty kind of city nihilism to more of like a big picture universal nihilism. But here's the thing. We have this give our middle fingers to the sun line to kind of tie it all together. Also, I want to make it very, very clear that I am not a nihilist. I'm not a screw everything type of person. I have very deep beliefs about meaning and higher purpose in the world, but we have to write this song from a certain perspective. And I'm not going to get into the weeds of my own beliefs because I don't want that to color anybody else's judgment on the song. I try to kind of keep that at a distance on this channel because that stuff is very polarizing, right? People have very strong beliefs about like purpose and religion and higher meaning. And to be able to write effectively from multiple points of view, you have to be willing to suspend your disbelief and put yourself in the shoes of other people. And I feel like if I express my own views and beliefs too much on this channel, it could very easily get in the way of my my ability to do that authentically. So we're gonna leave all that at the door and just focus on the nihilism here. And on that note, we've got a couple verses. We've got the chorus all figured out. We just need to put this bridge section together, and that's pretty much it. That's all we have to do, really. So I can work my 9 to 5. Already got kind of a good melody idea. And then the groceries by the door line was harkening back to something in the chorus that we removed. Yeah, I'm not so sure about the second half of this. Are you on the up and up? I like the buttercup up and up. I see what he was trying to do with the cadence of that. I just don't think the message really tracks here. I think we're gonna just, sorry, Eric, we're just gonna delete this entirely and fill in something else here. Darling, forgive me if I sell my soul to the sun. I feel like I kind of like that because earlier we were giving our middle fingers to the sun, right? And selling my soul to the sun is like basically admitting that there are meaningful things in life and I should have a productive, positive attitude and actually work towards something. That the universe is more than aimless chaos, or at least I'm going to act like that's the case. Which flies in the face of this partner's belief system. So I feel like in this bridge, the narrator's still struggling with, do I buy into this societal scheme or do I sit in the gutter and complain with my partner? But kind of leaning towards the more either optimistic or sheep-like route, depending on how you look at it. And then we just go into the last chorus from there. So I think this is good. Eric, I hope I did the song justice. I feel like it's something. It's not perfect, but it's something. I might tweak it a little bit, but I'm gonna record it and play around with it and just make sure that it all comes together the right way. But all in all, I feel like this is a pretty decent attempt at cleaning this up and finishing it out. I'm pretty happy with where this ended up. So as always, thank you guys for joining me as I do this. If you are watching this and hearing my voice right now, it means you've made it through most of the video, which I deeply, deeply appreciate. And Eric, thank you again for submitting those lyrics. I know he wasn't super happy about it. I think he did it kind of reluctantly. But dude, I'm glad you did. There was a lot of good stuff in here and this was really fun to work on. So thank you for the song submission. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, please subscribe. I don't feel like doing the whole spiel about how it helps the algorithm and blah, blah, blah. So just click that button. It'll help. It'll make a difference. And that's all we got for today. The next thing that you see will be the final completed version of Eric's song. Peace. Is for the lowlifes. And darling, don't you wish that I'm one? Don't you wanna just make out on Broadway Station and give our middle fingers to the sun? Girl, the world is for the losers, rat race running boozers, and the poor lost souls who don't know they're coming undone. And darling, wouldn't it be nice if I were one? But I wear a suit and tie, I work my 9 to 5, pay Uncle Sam and I don't complain. Oh honey darling buttercup, you know where I am when you wake up, the shaving cream running down the drain. Sure, the world is for the losers, reality abusers, the shakers and the movers, for those who play their part. Cheer up, why are you wishing for the dark? The world is for the children. Darling, aren't you glad we have none? All the little future politicians learning how to keep the mask on. Girl, the universe is empty, entropy and energy, and people who pretend that they won't turn to dust. And darling, how would you feel if that's who I become? But I wear a suit and tie, I work my 9 to 5, pay Uncle Sam and I don't complain. Oh honey darling buttercup, you know where I am when you wake up, the shaving cream running down the drain. Sure, the world is for the losers, reality abusers, the shakers and the movers, for those who play their part. Cheer up, why are you wishing for the dark? I put on my suit and you tie my tie, so I can work my 9 to 5. life. I rage against that rebel light, so I can sleep in peace at night. Darling, forgive me if I sell my soul to the sun, but I wear a suit and tie. I work my 9 to 5, pay Uncle Sam, and I don't complain. Oh, honey darling buttercup, you know where I am when you wake up. The shaving cream running down the drain. Sure, the world is for the losers, reality abusers, the shakers and the movers, for those who play their part. Cheer up, why are you wishing for the dark?